Hey y'all, I'm Todd Bailey.
What's up? It's Ari Lombardozzi.
And this is fucking Brewtal.
Get in the pit, stock up the fridge, and listen. We're here to cover the latest in metal news and craft beer. A match made in hell.
If it makes you bang your head, then we want to hear it. If it tickles your taste buds, share those suds.
Turn it up to 11.
Crack open that beer.
It's about to get brutal. What's good there, Hopwolves? It's your boys, Todd, Ari, and we're joined by a friend of the show, Trevor Dunlap of Ghost of ELHR and Crimson Visions. So, we're going to cut the bullshit here. This is episode 99. That has to be said. We couldn't not say it because we've been building that shit up for so long. And I feel bad for anyone that's listening to this, subsequently, because it's just we're closer. I still got the fucking shit popping up on my screen like a fucking millennial. Anyway, Trevor, thanks for coming on the show, dude. This is we're both really stoked for this and to talk shop with the man behind the ghostliness of, I don't know, I'm losing it here. I haven't really done much today, so I'm trying to get into podcast. Yeah, it's still not working, dude. And what time? It's 4 o'clock.
Oh, trust me, this is my third C4 of the day, so feel that. Dude. Wake up for 5 a.m. every day for work, so very much needed.
I feel about 900 milligrams of
caffeine.
Well, before we get into our questions, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself there, friend?
My name is Trevor. I am recently 28 years old. I like long walks on the beach. I like dogs. I like cats. I also have pet rats. Multi-instrumentalist, at least I attempt to be. Worked with a couple bands. Ghost of ELHR being my main priority. It's my baby. I used to be in a band called Crimson Shrine, also local to Erie, as you guys know. Graphic design-wise, I've worked with multitudes of bands, most notably Casket Maker. Those are my boys. They are my motherfucking babies.
Oh yeah, we love them.
Do everything
Brewtal
for those
alumni.
guys.
Shout out.
Yeah. Basically, musician, digital artist, graphic designer, wannabe writer, I guess. Not much else to me. It's basically it. And that's the rundown.
It's beautiful. We'll give you some snaps for that one, friend. Also, is the ghost that's behind you, the neon ghost, is that the actual Ghost of ELHR for everyone watching on our YouTube?
No, that was actually a Halloween gift from my girlfriend. It was $5 from Walmart, and I left it plugged in for 24 hours, and then it started flickering really bad, and the brick that it was attached to got super hot, so it has not been plugged in since.
That's fair. You don't want to become a ghost yourself, not just yet.
No, not yet. I've had enough interactions with them in real life, so I'm good.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we should touch on that. We'll get into it. We'll talk shop first, but I do want to hear about this because we're here for that. Well, yeah, dude. Congrats on the new EP that Yin's just dropped. At the beginning we're still at the beginning of the year. It's January 2024. So, happy 2024 to Hopwolves, to Yins. But yeah, dude, it fucks hard. The new EP, real hard. And could you, how has it been so far? And I also wanted to kind of touch upon, because it is so tricky releasing new material this early in the year. How's the response been, even though we're just a few weeks in? And also, was that intentional, or did it just kind of end up happening like that?
It just kind of happened. Granted, I think we're learning from some mistakes. However, the reception is going very well. They say if you don't want anybody to see your movie, release it in January. It's kind of the same sense with music. But that's why I released Scarlet a few days early for people to listen to. Because I was like, we're not going to release it as a single on streaming and then put everything else out a week later. That'd just be dumb. Right. So we put it on YouTube, and we're like, if you want to listen to it on Spotify, wait a week. But yeah, so far that one has been the big banger off of the EP that everybody's listening to. Getting Adam attached to that was definitely a goal I had last year. So I've been working with Adam on a design level since like 2018, I think.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's sick. Nice.
Definitely people bitching about clean singing on Infernal.
That debate
like,
still seems to be going.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, listen. I'm like, Dan has the voice of a fucking angel. We're gonna let him use it. Like, my friends are talented. I'm gonna show it off however I can for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so far it's been mostly positive. I will give you a pro tip though. Never look up your band name on Reddit.
Duly noted.
That's an important tip for anyone listening. Just don't do it.
Yeah. Apparently we're not even listed on like the metal archives. You guys know what that is? Like the metal encyclopedia?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I don't understand. I always thought it was the artist putting up the stuff, but is it like an admin?
No, it's like fans putting up stuff.
Okay.
I found out I was on there like about 2 years ago. Someone sent me a link to it. And it was this profile, and like all the facts about me were wrong. I'm like, okay, well, that's a problem. I should at least probably have that fixed.
Yeah.
But every once in a blue moon, I'll go back and check it just to see if anybody updates it. And they have some of my old bands on there. They have a band that never took off on there that says I'm still a member of.
That's great.
And they have Ghost of ELHR listed on there, but there's no actual page for Ghost of ELHR. I'm like, okay, odd. So I'm like reading through like all their terms and conditions and stuff and all their rules about this stuff. And they're like, oh, if a page doesn't exist for a band, it's probably because it's not really metal. I'm like, whatever.
What do I got to do to prove it to you? I was the cleans. That's why.
Do you have to pay to be a fan on that site to like add info?
No. It's a freeware thing, I'm pretty sure. And anybody can sign up for it. I'm pretty sure they take donations, you know, like Wikipedia does and everything just to keep the site going.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's definitely a cool project that somebody put together because I find so much random stuff on there.
Well, we're going to put a call to action and get the Ghost of ELHR page fixed and get your bio fixed on there. So anyone listening, let's make it happen.
That's making me think of like you're writing a research paper and they're always like, don't ever use Wikipedia, or like when I'd write for film, they're like, don't use IMDb or like shit like that. But then like you still end up using it, even though like most of the shit's wrong anyway.
Yeah. It's like, what's my favorite one? Meat Canyon. He jokes that he's like 47 years old when he's my age. And if you Google him, his age says 47. Somebody actually put that on the internet.
What a time to be alive, dude. Digital age is something fucking wild.
It's incredible, but terrifying at the same time.
Yeah, we were just talking about AI, and the most recent thing is the George Carlin comedy act that was put together all through AI, and it's disturbing.
Listen, like, I'm very 50-50 when it comes to AI. Like, yes, it's destroying careers of artists, but at the same time, there's some pretty cool shit out there being made with AI. Yes. Like the fact that I can listen to Mike Shinoda's new music with Chester's vocals on it, that just makes me happy. Like somebody did an AI version of Already Over as a duet with Chester on it. I'm like,
that's insane.
Yeah. And it's scary how real it sounds sometimes too, if it's done well.
Oh, there was some jokes with that stand-up that I'm like, this could easily be him. Like
And like it was legitimately funny too, because like, you know, like a lot of the times it's funny in ironic sense because it's just like all these different like cliches that they do that where they watch like thousands of hours of Hallmark movies and like here's the plot line to it. But no, like you said, both your points, like it's scary that like, you know, you can hear Chester and you can hear like new quote unquote, I guess it is new like material. We were talking about like we're both kind of on the same page. Like it's good as a tool but then like to solely rely on it, especially in the world of art, there's a lot, because there's a lot of gray area when it comes to rights and like what you can do with it, what you can't do, like monetization. Like it's still so new that there's gonna be a lot of hurdles that we have to get through before it becomes like, I don't know, like regulated in a way. I guess it's almost kind of like regulating the internet. Like there's only so much you can do with it.
There needs to be regulations regardless. And especially it's gonna, of course, enter the music realm. I'm pretty sure it already has. Because I know someone posted about like they made like a Kanye song using AI, and like it seemed like a legit song, and like that's gonna definitely enter the metal world at some point. And I hope.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's a live streaming YouTube channel that's 24/7. It's been going on for years. It's automated death metal. It's never ending death metal.
Really?
Yeah.
Endless death.
It just kind of sounds like white noise at this point, but yeah, it's just AI generated death metal that's on a constant live stream. It's been going since I was in college.
My God.
Damn.
Yeah.
I would love to tune in. It's like a one take scream still.
Yeah. Just a guttural.
But yeah, one of my most viewed videos on YouTube is talking about AI artwork in the metal scene, because when August Burns Red dropped their last album and it was just like low res mid journey shit. And people were like, what am I even looking at here?
Yes.
Like it kind of looks like a figure, but also a junkyard and a desert. What are we looking at? And, I made a whole video explaining it and like going into pretty deep detail about it. And I have people commenting on it and stuff like, oh, this is the way it is now. Like, get with the times. And I'm like, first off, I'm not fucking 50. Second of all, you clearly did not watch the whole 20-minute long video of why I explained this is bad. Because like when Midjourney first dropped, like, yeah, it was a cool idea. Like everybody started playing with it just to see what it could do. And we're like, oh, that's cool. And then when you see people like Duncan Bentley selling AI artwork for $500 and shit like that, I'm like, that's a problem. And then when somebody dropped all the info that they were stealing, unpaid for stock images for their AI generation and Google images, like you go on to Google Images, the first thing they teach you in school when you go for graphic design is don't take images off Google because it's all copyrighted. They have search functions for free stuff, but like, that's very 50-50. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to use that anytime soon, which thankfully Adobe, because I'm a big Adobe fan, I use it every day of my life. They started with AI generation, but they strictly use their stock source for it. So they take everything from Adobe stock for it. Yeah. So all of their assets are used for AI generation. I've tried it a couple of times. It's still a little janky, but yeah, I'm sure it'll get there one day. It's definitely good for when you're stuck in a creative rut to help get an idea of where you want to go with it. But other than that, it couldn't be me. Like I've been drawing since I was 3 years old. So I'd rather just paint or draw something for somebody and actually put the hours in. But, tomato, who the fuck am I? What do I know? I'm just a guy with a degree.
I think this is a good segue to the artwork for the EP, if you want to talk about that a little bit.
So obviously the title track is Frayed at every end.
Relatable.
Yeah. The song itself, and before we go into this, I will say the subject matter of all three songs is very sensitive subjects. So this is your warning now. Basically, all three songs are about different forms of like self-harm, self-abuse, stuff like that. And Frayed at Every End is about people mixing pain with pleasure and, unhealthy sex practices and stuff like that, and hurting themselves to actually feel something, which is where the artwork for the EP comes in to give it that like yeah, we kind of know this is about sex, but what is it really about?
Mhm.
I was gonna try to dive in deeper as far as going with like BDSM. Like that might be a little too much. I don't want to give people like typo negative vibes or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically what the artwork came from, was just unhealthy, toxic sex life, which I know a lot of people my age have dealt with one way or another. The song itself is about someone else using you as a sexual object. So they feel something, and then you're just kind of left there like, where's this going? Is this going anywhere? Because, it's a real thing a lot of people deal with, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Getting into a relationship with somebody and thinking things are going to go great, and then you just end up kind of feeling like a piece of meat to somebody, and then they're like, don't want to play with you anymore. On to the next thing. And then you're like, what was that? And it just kind of leaves you confused. And
Oh yeah, they'll fuck you up mentally.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So, and this isn't like a cry for help or anything like that, but all these songs are about like personal things that happened in my life a few years back. So, and I will state right now that I am in a much better place nowadays, because these songs were all written 2 years ago.
Mhm.
Right.
In a much better place, much better mental state, actually happy with life. Everything I want happening is happening right now. So we're good from here. All these
Oh, yeah.
songs are
That's what's
in
up.
the past.
Silver lining at the top of that. We love to hear it.
Yeah.
Would you
So-
say you found catharsis then
I was
through
just gonna ask
writing that?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Ghost of ELHR started as like a whole solo depression piece. It's like I wasn't making music at the time. And I'm like, I need to do something that will help me just get this like drudging everyday feeling out. Like, how can I write that? What style would that go with? And I'm like, I'm kind of getting into doom metal lately, but I don't want to write doom metal because it's too slow. And coincidentally, that was around the same time that Acacia dropped It Comes in Waves. I'm just like, that's it. That's the sound I'm looking for.
Hell
And
yeah.
I kind of mimicked it at my best capability at the time. But to see how far we've come since that first EP when it was just me. For those of you listening, I don't know if anyone's listened to the old Ghost of ELHR stuff, but it is very doom and gloom. And our good friend Jordan Milner, when I dropped that, he messaged me. He's like, dude, this sounds like Acacia, but like way scarier.
Dude, that was an amazing Jordan.
Oh, I love Jordan. I love all
dude.
those guys. Well, they were another band I filled in 4 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
back
nice.
in like summer of 2019, I think I filled in for them for a summer.
Dude, hell yeah.
It was when they were looking for a vocalist, and I'm just like, I am too young. I am too broke to be in this band right now, but I will play some shows with you guys. But yeah, it was fun. Built a pretty good relationship with those guys.
We have a running joke here on the show that, like, do you ever watch John Oliver, like Tonight with John Oliver?
I haven't watched it in years.
Okay, they have a segment where it's like Ed Now, and they're like blah 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 does blah blah blah, and it's usually like news anchors like on national or like public,
Yeah, all saying the same thing.
all saying the same thing, and like the amount that we talk about the breathing process on this show is stupid because they're just like really talented musicians and they're great fucking people, and we've been fans of them since In Waking Divinity, and it's like you said, it's been cool to like have relationships with not only just them, but like, like yourself or other bands that we've talked to on the show, where it's like we hear the music and are fans and then get to talk to them in one way, shape, or form and be like, oh, this is like, you're really fucking cool. And now we're homies.
Yeah.
So
because I remember when you guys, I remember when you guys wanted to feature Curseland for an older episode. So I went to the YouTube channel and started looking through episodes, and I saw you guys did a full episode with Jordan. I'm like, oh shit, I'll watch that. And then he gets to the part where he's talking about like, yeah, we had this kid a few years back before Chris, and he was really good, but he just wasn't a great fit at the time. And I was like that Leo meme, like, hey, I'm like, that's me.
That's a drink. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah,
dude, that's awesome. It's wild, like, especially when you get, well, I mean, because like you're currently in Erie and we're from Erie, and everything's like kind of 1 or 2 degrees of separation in the scene. So it's kind of cool to see like the overlapping and hear how interactions have gone through the years, basically. So that's really fucking funny.
Yeah. I think the last time I actually saw Jordan was right before the pandemic hit. It was like February of 2020. I went down to Black Forge in Pittsburgh, and I saw I saw Croesus with Awake in Providence. Actually, that's where I met Adam in person for the first time.
Nice.
And Jordan was just
Incredible.
there chilling. Yeah, I think it was the last time I saw him. So it's been a hot minute.
Dude, that's what's up. You have to, if you're ever in town for a show, if Todd was fucking here, let me know, and we'll link up, and like, cause I've been to like, I think every Breathing Process show that they've had like so far around here. But that's neither here nor there, because we will get lost in that sauce. We're here to talk about Ghost of Elhr, though. But yeah, dude, so that's cool. That's good insight into like what the songs are about and the artwork. And I'm glad that you really brought that up, even with it being such sensitive subject matter. Like, it does need to be talked about, because like you felt like it needed to be talked about. So it's going to resonate with, at least one person. And, that's really cool. And it's good to have like that cathartic release, like you said. And that is one thing that I know Todd and I have talked about this, and we've talked about this with various friends, but like going back to AI, will it ever have like that depth of emotion like you're providing, or any artist that's just like really going through it to be like, I can hear and feel like the shit, but like, maybe one day, I don't know, but it's just like sounding like, having that human connection and be like, I can hear and feel like that this is something. I don't know what it is, but like, it might be resonating with me, it might be not, but either way, it's making you feel. So either you like it or not, like it's still getting a reaction. And that's good shit, really.
Well, I will say, if AI ever gets to the point of where it can start relaying human emotion, it's time to shut it down.
Yeah.
Like,
It's getting too close to Skynet there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if these young kids have ever seen this film series called The Terminator, but it does not end well for us. And we're already heading in that direction, and I really need Schwarzenegger to come in here and shut it all down.
The fact that this movie is becoming more and more of a documentary PSA.
Yeah. It's just, Judgment Day. It's unpreventable. It's just, when's it gonna happen?
Yeah.
That's the thing. It just keeps getting pushed back further and further. You can move the date, but it's still coming.
I personally hope that I'm not around for that. Don't really want to deal with that, or like really be a survivor and try to, like, I've seen too many post-apocalyptic films too. Be like, that just seems like a lot of work, man. And like, I'm already having a hard enough time, let alone just trying to survive when everything else is desolate as fuck.
Yeah.
So, out of curiosity, if you had to pick, is there a favorite track off the EP?
Honestly, probably Scarlet, because that was probably the hardest song for me to write personally. Because usually when it comes to writing lyrics, like, I just jot it down, record it as I go. But Scarlet was definitely the one that I like sat down with the longest with writing. When you're writing a song, while in the process of writing it, it brings up the same emotions that you're writing about. It can mean different things, like, oh, like, this is going to be something special. Like, oh, this might be a little much. I don't know if people are even going to resonate with this or not, because I kind of write in metaphor. a little bit, which kind of just over some people's heads, but those who get it. Those who don't, I wish you the best of luck. Because it's definitely probably the most sensitive song on the EP and probably the most sensitive song that Miller has released so far. But again, a trigger warning, this song is about the temptation of self-harm, which is something a lot of people have gone through that I know personally. But it's more than that. The song itself is about grounding yourself and overcoming the temptation. I wrote that song probably when I was at my lowest in the past 4 years, because everything post-COVID was just a fucking train wreck on my end. Because I was originally living in Erie, and then COVID happened and lost a job living off of government funding, like a lot of people were. It just got to a point where I couldn't afford my apartment anymore, had to move back home. So it just ended up being myself and my mom for a while. And if you don't know anything about the oil region, it's very hard to find a good paying job that isn't Walmart. And I already quit the local Walmart years ago, and I wasn't going to show my face there again. So finding a decent job was probably the hardest thing on me. Finances were always a big struggle. And, you know, not seeing friends for a long period of time because of the pandemic, not really being close with the rest of my family. You know, it was just a lot for a whole 2 years to take in before I moved back here. So, you know, it got to a really, really low point for me. But to skip over all the super depressing stuff, I basically found myself again, and I'm like, this isn't me. I know this isn't me. This is a rut that I am in. I'm going to dig myself out of it one way or another. So that's basically how the song came to be. I have the lyrics pulled up for it. And, you know, I know not everybody reads lyrics for songs.
I do. So I'm all for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. A majority of it is pretty gnarly for this song in particular. But I feel like a lot of the one line a lot of people skipped over when I showed them this song, like way before it was released, was the blade will rust as it waits and calls my name. That right there. That's you overcoming. Because I feel like I know it's really hard to make super brutal music relatable. But I'm trying over here. And, you know, if one line like that can resonate with somebody because it helped me a lot, then hey, I feel like I did something as a good person.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, I love that you're doing that. And that's for me,
Cheers,
like I'm big on the lyrics. Like I know instrumentally, like, those matter too with songs, but it's the lyrics that I usually gravitate towards. And like something like that, I'm actually going to bring up rap music because like one line can fuck up the game. And like, I truly believe something like that. And I always promote, like, if you're listening to music that you can't quite hear what they're saying, read the lyrics, especially in metal when everyone's screaming and you're like, I'm sorry, what did he say underneath that guttural? But I just think it elevates, because then you listen back and then you start hearing it, and then it really impacts you in a way. And I think it makes you appreciate it in a whole new lens.
Definitely. It's funny that you bring that up because, you know, I'm actually super close with my mom. And every now and then I'll play Ghost of ELHR music around her to get her take on it. And she's like, oh, it's really good. Nick's really talented at writing that stuff. What are you saying, though? I'm just like, try to figure it out. And she goes, I could tell you said fuck. I'm
Thanks,
like,
Mom.
yeah. I'm like, I did in fact say fuck right there. But there's more to it than that. But yeah, I have a really cool relationship with her because I grew up on like classic rock and 80s and 90s pop, and I still listen to it to this day.
Oh yeah.
But you know, when I got into my angsty teen years, I was very much one of the Rise Core, Sumerian Core kids. So she started picking up on those bands a lot around me. But the most hilariously adorable thing that happened these past few years, when I was living in Erie the first time, she picked up this random obsession with Linkin Park.
Okay.
Just out of nowhere.
Awesome.
I'm like, all right. And I came home to visit her once, and she had literally every single Linkin Park CD in her car.
As you should.
Yeah,
Because
amazing.
she still uses a CD player because she doesn't know how to use Bluetooth. So I'm like, all right, sure. And a few months ago, she hits me up and she's like, I think I need to buy a new copy of Hybrid Theory. I'm like, why? She's like, I think I burned it out. And just for context, my mom is 63 years old.
Oh yeah.
So that makes it even better.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna burn out one album, that's a good one to do it to.
That or Meteora.
What's your which one's your favorite?
Meteora by far.
Same.
So my birthday was December 14th, and my girlfriend bought me the 20th anniversary box set for Meteora, like the full box set with all the DVDs, and like there's like 6 LPs in it and like 4 CDs, the full color book and everything. It's insane. I still have yet to crack it and put it on the turntable, but saving it for a special occasion.
I love that.
Incredible.
Yeah. By far one of the most influential albums I've ever heard.
Oh yeah. They didn't hit any sophomore slump. And before that too was the Reanimated, which no one has yet to even match or imitate.
Yeah.
Those like I feel like those 3 albums in particular are just like quintessential like timelessness, where it holds up incredibly well. And I don't think God damn, there's the thumbs up again.
It's saying yes, it's approval.
Yeah. Thanks, Skynet, Big Brother, whoever.
I said Meteora, good shit.
Yeah, agreed. No, but that's really cool. And that's like, I feel like really hard to come by, especially like how music has progressed over the years to just get that time. Cause I mean, you get stuff that like we like parents would listen to and stuff, be like, no, this still holds up. And then you listen to stuff that even though it's still like iconic and influential, you're like, yeah, this one doesn't like, it's not really like jiving with where it's at today. But Meteora, Reanimate, and Hybrid Theory, none of that applies because they will forever be bangers.
Don't even get me started on the Lost Demos EP that they put out with this release. Dude, brand new Linkin Park in 2023. Are you kidding me? Bawled my eyes out when they dropped Lost. As I'm sure a lot of people did.
Yeah.
It was insane. I woke up for work at 3:30 in the morning that day, and that was the first thing I did. I ran to my computer, pulled up YouTube, and typed in Linkin Park, and bawled my eyes out. 3:30 in the morning.
That's a good way to start the day there, homie.
Oh, it was great. And then I cracked open a C4.
That's what this episode should be sponsored by, is C4.
No, honestly, like I love C4. Don't get it fucked up. However, trying to get the band sponsored, Ghost Energy. It just makes sense. Those Sour Patch Kids flavors. Ooh.
Oh, those are good.
Oh, dude, the red berry one, that'll put you on your ass. Crazy.
It's been a minute, but I used to do these like live streaming gigs for like youth sports a couple years ago, and I'd always be stoked because like the venues would exclusively have Ghost Energy, and I got it literally no other time other than like when I'd have to work, because I'd have to be there like all day plus like get there like before everyone. So it's like usually 10 plus hour days. And I'm like, cool, man, we got that ghost energy. Can't feel anything right now, dude. Everything's going fucking through me. Great stuff.
Oh, dude, it was like 2017. I worked at BT for Basement Transmissions. Shout out. I worked a Suicide Silence show one day.
Ooh,
Nice.
It was for
I
the
was at
cleansing
that show.
Yeah, it was that cleansing show. So I worked the venue that day, and it was sponsored by Rockstar, and they just handed it out to everybody who came into the venue. They had it in these big ass coolers and stuff. And at the end of the night, they had like 12 cases left over, and they're like, "We're not taking these with us. You guys can take them."
Oh,
Like they ship it to every venue every day. Like, we don't need to take it with us.
Wow.
How many cases did you get then?
The band I was in at the time, I think we were able to snag like half of them. So like 6 cases, all different flavors. So we were just stocked up in the practice room. Yeah.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
I will never forgive Rockstar though. They took away my Mandarin orange flavor. Never again.
It's on record now.
That was the best energy drink ever created, and they took it away from me.
Again, to bring it back here, I do want to quickly talk about, because we are kind of running out of time here a little bit. What you mentioned, ghosts and interactions with ghosts.
Yeah.
Can you give us one of those? Like how I just want, like, give us something spooky, dude. Like we're always riding off of the spookiness here, and we haven't had a good ghost story in a while.
Okay, so I'm not like 110% like super paranormal ghost hunter, all that stuff. Although I'm half Native American, so I feel like I've always had kind of like a spiritual connection. That's probably why I named the band what it is. Because you know how they say when little kids can see and hear things that adults usually don't. So growing up, I lived with my grandparents. My grandpa passed away when I was 5 years old. My mom would always tell me stories of when I was really little. She would hear me upstairs talking to somebody, and there'd be nobody there. Be like, "Who are you talking to?" And I'd say, "Oh, Pa," because that's what we call my grandpa. Didn't think much of it, although it turns out the house I grew up in was super fucking haunted. But by far the scariest thing that has ever happened to me. So for a while last year, we had a roommate, one of my girlfriend's best friends. And they are very much, into the occult, paganism, witchcraft, and stuff like that on a pretty basic level. Like they practice, but, they don't do the whole crazy, spooky stuff. It's just, Halloween vibes all year round in this apartment.
My man.
So we had a friend pass away last year, and we were doing a Ouija board session. And for a while, we just kind of had like bad vibes in the house, like kind of just gross feelings all the time. We weren't too sure what it was. So, we did some common things to see if there was any bad energy, and we were getting a lot of it. So we did a banishing from the house to try to just get rid of the bad energy, sealed the doors, sealed the windows, everything like that. So it was really late one night. We were sitting out in the kitchen around the table with the board, no lights on, candles lit. We performed this banishing, and the way my apartment is, I live on the second floor, and there's the front door, and then there's a staircase, and there's another front door at the bottom of the staircase. And I always lock that at night so nobody can come upstairs and fucking, break into my house. But I always lock both doors. And we do this banishing, and immediately everything feels lighter. Like, okay, feel like we can breathe again. Keep in mind, this was at like 1:30 in the morning. And out of nowhere, we just hear fucking pounding on the front door, like aggressive pounding. My dog starts barking, freaking the fuck out. And there were bells on the outside of the front door. So they would ring when we would come home. So the dog knew we were home. So we hear this pounding on the front door and somebody hit the bells on the front door. And then my dog's freaking out. And then she kind of lets her guard down a little bit, but she's still sitting there growling. And I go to check the front door. Nobody there. And the downstairs door still locked with the deadbolt. And there's no way to get up my stairwell if that bottom door is locked, unless you break the front window. By far the scariest thing that has ever happened.
That's Peter wanting back in, man.
Oh yeah, I did. So we had to do it all over again.
Like we're gonna double down.
Take two.
Pro tip. That's a rule. If you ever hear knocking on your door and there's nobody there, that's a bad sign. Got to banish it. Got to seal your doors, seal your windows.
Well, there you go, Hopwolves. You're not only getting insight into sick metal, you're also getting life advice for battling the other side.
Demons.
So, demons.
Ghosts, yeah.
Yeah, that story is wild, dude. I mean, we haven't, it's been many a years since we've done anything. Yeah. Like, we used to go ghost hunting all the time. Ghost hunting, air quotes. Just like going into the cemeteries, and like we'd buy like hand recorders and shit like that. And I mean, we had some weird times for sure, but you know, nothing quite like that. So,
and then we would reconvene at Taco Bell.
Yeah, almost every time. So that's your life lesson from the Brewtal Boys is if you do go ghost hunting or are fucking with the paranormal, go to Taco Bell after everything is cleansed.
The fourth meal.
The fourth meal. Damn, I forgot about that. Bring that motto back. But yeah, that's incredible. Thank you for coming on, sharing all your personal stories there, Trevor. I know like that's a lot to talk about, and we really appreciate what you do musically, lyrically, visually, and spiritually too. Is there anything, Todd, that you want to ask before we get into plugging in stuff for Trevor here?
I mean, you covered a lot that we wanted to hear. Is there any plans this year as far as can people see you live? Are you conjuring up any shows?
We are working on that. We're trying to get a very tight-knit live set down. Obviously, you know, we're going to have a lot of backing tracks and stuff like that. Trying to convene a convenient practice space for us because we're kind of scattered all over. You know, we have one guy in Ohio, one guy in New York, and everybody else lives at the ass crack of Pennsylvania. So I'm just up here. But we're working on that. That's the number one question we always get, but we're working on it.
Well, yeah. The want is there because I want to give us a floor a little bit to say, like, we absolutely love this EP. People need to listen to it. I think, yes, you talked about releasing in January, but I think you are setting the bar high for 2024 with this.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think it's a true elevation to your sound. Like, I am thoroughly enjoying this, so much so I just keep it on loop in the background while I'm at work mostly. Yeah, you're tapping into something there, and to now know about, you know, the meaning behind the songs, they do cut deep, and I appreciate people that talk about real life stuff, even though you're doing it metaphorically. I still think that resonates more than sometimes when you do the fantasy metal.
And I hate on the nose shit too.
Yeah,
I hate it. I'm not spoon feeding my ideas to you. Sorry.
Well, I think what I like about being more metaphorical with the lyrics is it leaves it's more subjective to the listener, and you can have that's where it creates like, oh, I took it this way, whereas this person took it that way, and I like that. You should have your own way you view it and listen to it. That's yours. Other than that, man, we want you to promote yourself. So where can fans find you? And yeah, just list off where we can find you.
You can find Ghost of ELHR at Ghost of ELHR on everything: YouTube, Insta, Facebook, all that happy horseshit. Me personally, I go as King of Flesh on all my socials, of with a V.
Nice.
I'm almost to
Have
500
to.
subs on YouTube, so
Hell yeah.
get over there.
Run up those numbers. Let's go.
Yes.
Yeah. We're planning playthroughs for all 3 songs off the EP. We're going to film those very soon. Already working on the next single. I'm mixing that as we speak.
Hell yeah.
So we'll probably have that early springtime ready for everyone. I can't say officially on the channel, but y'all will see me touring with another band soon this year. That announcement will probably come out in the next few months. Yeah, that's it. Constantly working on new music, trying to make consistent content for everybody, even if it's playthroughs or memes. But you'll always be seeing something from us.
Hell yeah.
We're going to end it for the Hopwolves, and we're going to spin Scarlet Oration from Ghost of ELHR, featuring Adam Mercer of A Wake in Providence. Shit's going to hit you like a fuck ton of bricks, Hopwolves. So let's do it. Thank you again, Trevor, for hanging out with us. It's been an absolute pleasure, friend.
Thank you very much for having me.